Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Barb Cockcroft, talking about the Straight A grant that was secured for thousands and thousands and thousands of students, changing thousands and thousands and thousands of lives. You talk about streams of the grant. Mm-hmm. Remind us what the different streams were.
Sure. So one of the work streams was on transforming teaching and learning through 21st century classrooms, and that's where we're using all that technology,
Yes.
The one-to-one that we talked about earlier. The second work stream is all about problem-based learning. And problem-based learning is an incredible pedagogy that we have a PBL, which is Problem-Based Learning Resource Library, on our website, which is, I'm going to just say it for the listeners here, www.youngminds, that's plural, greatfutures.org. And you can see all 5 of the work streams there. Another work stream is on work-based learning experiences for students, and we've partnered with Junior Achievement. We saw a great increase of student participations in Junior Achievement.
So you need both, which, by the way, they were just here.
Oh, they were?
Yes.
Okay,
So, yes.
Well,
and I didn't do that on purpose.
Oh, my gosh.
So, but what are the difference between those two different bases?
Okay, so problem-based learning is basically, we have it kind of coined for getting kids into the experience of solving a real-world problem when they're in their classrooms, so that as they transition into high school and maybe they're part of junior achievement or financial literacy or whatever the curriculum is, they can take what they learned as a middle schooler and apply it into a deeper setting as they enter into high school.
Okay.
So, and I sit on the Junior Achievement Board of Directors along with my dear friend Mike Baer, who is also very instrumental in managing this grant with me. I mean, he's been a blessing, and whatever I can't do, he does, and vice versa. We're just kind of like connected at the hip, if you will.
So you have problem-based and then work-based?
And work-based learning, yes.
And how does that look as opposed to problem-based?
Okay, so problem-based is like a pedagogy that teachers would operationalize in a classroom. So for an example, I know that in one school, they were trying to decide about the levees down in Zor. And this was at Sandy Valley, and they wanted to find a way that the water wouldn't spill over. And so the kids came up with a solution. And most recently in Sandy Valley, I don't know if you know this, but the Stark County District Library is looking at upgrading their Sandy Valley branch of the library.
Yes.
And I said to Tina Wilson, who was the executive director at the time, and now it's Jeannie Duncan McFerrin, but I said, well, look no further, because the 8th grade students at Sandy Valley have already done a problem-based learning unit looking at this. And some of the ideas, just so that the listeners can understand, they thought about maybe having the Stark County District Library branch of Sandy Valley be part of their campus. Instead of being situated there on 183 away from the elementary, middle, and high school, to just kind of bring it on their campus. So that was an idea. Another idea was to have a SARTA bus that would pick up students and parents after school hours and transport them to the library right there. And then a third idea was to just turn it into kind of like a coffee shop. Think about Starbucks. Think about the Jackson branch we had, and to flip it like that so that it was more of a gathering place and not a, quote, library per se.
So the 8th graders have already covered it. They've got it covered.
They got it covered. I know.
My goodness,
So,
problem solved.
Yeah, problem solved. And there's 172 of these units already on our website.
Just amazing.
Already done.
Go to youngmindsgreatfutures.org and see what some of them are there already for you.
Yeah.
Barb, okay, did we cover all of the different work streams?
Yes, and I had spoken to you earlier about transforming teachers' capacity,
Yes.
and that was all about credentialing our high school teachers.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
And so it is very, very awesome.
But here's my follow-up for that. Teachers already have so many demands on
Yes,
their
yeah.
lives, and you can attest to that.
yeah.
How do we add these extra things? How does that work its way into a workflow of a day?
So this is a really cool model, and this was another idea that I got from the good Lord, and I just thought, we have to do this, and it is being done in Wayne County. So we have this teacher, and I told her yesterday in an email, I think you're awesome, I want to clone you. Her name is Kelly Miller. And basically what she does is she teaches the entrepreneurship courses like Entrepreneurship 120, 124, 123, and Global Entrepreneurship. I think it's 125. Those are Stark State College courses, and she offers them at Wayne County. But now this is where it's very cool. And she works with Green Local Schools in Smithville. She works with Orville. She works with Rittman. She works with Waynedale. She works with Southeast, and she works with the Career Center, the Wayne County Career Center. Now, she offers these courses every day, but she travels. So, for example, let's say that you and I are students in Kelly's class, and we are from Orville. So on Monday, Kelly, our teacher, is right there in front of us, like the old traditional model, but piping in from technology called distance learning are the students from the other locations.
Wow.
So now she's got a class of 23 to 25 students, but she's only in front of 5 at a time. And then the next day, because she's Kelly Miller and she's awesome, she goes to Rittman.
Yes.
And now she's in front of those 4 or 5 or 3 students so that they always have contact with that face-to-face person, but then the other children. And it was through the technology dollars that these other buildings were able to purchase distance learning equipment.
That's just amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's because she would not be able to be a teacher for 5 kids. That's not a prudent use of monies and everything. But when you have a class of 23 to 25, and and the treasurers all work in collaboration with one another, and it's just a great model, especially for rural communities.
It's fantastic. It's brilliant.
It is. It's God's brilliant.
Yes, he is. He's got this figured out. And the other thing is how many counties, you were just talking about, where all these people are coming from. Remind me, who all is affected by this? Who's all benefited by this?
Okay, so we span 12 counties, and we reach, I know.
That's amazing.
We reach from Summit County, and our partner school is Green Local Schools in Summit. What an incredible district. Love them also. We go all the way down to Washington County, which is in Marietta. So the schools that we have are Brown Local Schools, Carrollton Exempted Village Schools, Green Local Schools in Summit County, Green Local Schools in Smithville, which was in Wayne County, Marietta City Schools. We have Massillon City Schools, which is, these are all just really strong, great partners. Mid-East Career Tech Center, which is in Zanesville.
Wow.
Minerva Local Schools. We have Orville City Schools. We have Osnaburg Local Schools, Rittman Schools, Sandy Valley Local Schools, Southeast Local, which is also in Wayne County by Apple Creek. We have the Wayne County Career Center, and then, of course, we have R.G. Drake Career Technical College right here in Massillon.
And just to be clear, we were not reading off any list of schools who are closed today, just in case you just turned on. These are all young people who have benefited from the Straight A grant.
Yes, right.
That is so awesome. Yeah. You said earlier, I could tell you story after story of lives have been changed. So we've got some time to hear a couple stories. Tell us some examples of the exciting things you've gotten to see of the true impact in a life.
Well, I just remember, first of all, the stories from the teachers who are credentialed. I just got an email 2 days ago from a gentleman from Marietta who sent me a picture of himself, his wife, and his baby daughter. And he said he never, ever dreamed he could ever afford to have an MBA.
Wow.
And because of the grant, he was able not only to earn his MBA, and it wasn't easy. I mean, I just want you to know that these teachers have really, they dedicated themselves to this work because they also felt the spirit and the mission of educating their students in their local district. And so he thanked me over and over again for this opportunity. And I said, Adam, I said, this isn't about me. This is about you. And he just said his life is forever changed. So that was a story about a young man.
And what dedication, because the financial cost of an MBA is only one very small fraction.
I know.
You're talking about time management and diligent studying, hard work while you're still working a job and taking care of a family. I mean, that takes some real dedication.
It does. It really does. And then one of my former students from Lake, even though Lake was not a part of this Straight A grant, we invited him, his name is Blake Gibbs, we invited him to come speak to our Student Success Summit that we held in April. It will be 2 years ago now in April, because I had heard through my associates that he had started his own company called Zing Anything, and it's the water bottles that you infuse with fruit.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Blake Gibbs.
He made that up.
He made that.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and so
we all have those.
I know.
Yes.
So Blake, he created this with an incredible team. And why I was excited is because I had Blake Gibbs as a student. And to watch him just shine, like walking around with his iPad and talking to over 220 students from the grant about what he has accomplished. It just brought tears to your eyes that here is a young man who at the time was a sophomore
My goodness.
at Kent State.
Yes.
And this company went international because he was telling me that one of the stars, think about a Justin Bieber in North Korea, whoever that would be, somebody like that. He was holding one of these Zing Anythings in a movie, and the whole country exploded because they wanted one of these.
Yes.
Well, Blake has since sold that and is on to his next entrepreneurial endeavor. So that's a story. And then
talk about giving hope.
I know.
And if hope means more than an ACT score as far as a predictor for success, then we can also assume the other, that hopelessness is probably a pretty good indicator of failure.
Yes,
so
exactly.
all you have to do is just flip that hopelessness into hope again, and he's one of those that can do that.
He is one of those. And I feel like some of the things that are happening in our community most recently, I feel like these students lack hope and they lack belonging. They are assuming that their belonging comes through social media and not through face-to-face conversations with their parents and their friends. And so it makes me very sad. I've had many sleepless nights, and I said to my pastor, I know, be anxious for nothing, and in all things trust God. I know that, but sometimes when you love kids as much as we love kids, and I do love kids, and I do believe in kids, all of them.
Yes.
I just want to see them have hope, every single child on this face of this earth. And even my prayer group, I said, please pray for our young people.
Yes.
And if you see a student at a grocery store who is just kind of floundering, go and, talk to him, engage in conversation.
Yes, little encouragement.
Because I really feel that's so important, that we have to surround our young people with our love that we were given by our parents, because sometimes that's just not happening for them.
There's no question that our young people in this area are going through something very serious.
Yes.
And what you have brought and the hope that it brings is certainly one of the things addressing that.
Well, thank you.
Barb Cockcroft, thanks so much for what you're doing in our community.
Thank you so much, Susie. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.